Hello and good afternoon everyone. Am I audible and visible? Can you confirm? Okay. Yes. If anyone faces any problem, just let me know and we will sort it out. Okay. Okay. Great. Before starting, let me just tell that I hope all of you are safe and all your family members are also safe and you are taking necessary precautions before going outside, because these are very trying times and we have to be very careful, right? So I hope all of you are doing very well, right? Yes. Okay. Great. Let me just quickly introduce myself. I am Sangram Kesari Satpathy, lecturer in physics, and also I manage the academic activities of JUPN classes. So today in this demo class, let me just tell you how this will operate. So for the first 45 minutes to an hour, I will give you basic concepts and some tricks about, of course, optics, and then after an hour or so, I will be joined by our senior most faculty and IITian Durjadhan Sahu, and he will give you some more advanced techniques and more advanced problems to deal with. Okay, so we will the duration of the entire class will be from 1 hour 30 minutes to 2 hours. Okay, so just hang on, you will enjoy it. I will guarantee you will enjoy it. Okay, so so we will start with optics, right? That is no spoilers allowed, because we will start with optics, that is written there. And when we say optics, we mean basically the study of behavior of light, right? So we will just study the behavior of light. What is the behavior of light? So how light interacts with the different object. So if you have an object and light particles falls on it, how it will go? Whether it will reflect, whether it will reflect or whether it just go through that particle, that is the behavior of particle. But what is light, right? We will study light. So what is light? So if what is the problem? Just mute everyone. Okay. So what is light? When we say light, we actually mean visible light. This is important. When we say light, we actually mean visible light. Okay. And what is visible light? The light we see, or the colors that we see in everyday life, that is visible light. Okay. But what is actually visible light? So if some of you at least know, the light is a part of electromagnetic radiation or electromagnetic wave, right? Right now it's not important to know what is the electromagnetic wave, but just know that light is actually a small part of electromagnetic wave. And our eyes or our retinas are that sensitive to only catch this visible light, right? The electromagnetic wave is of 7 types: radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible light, ultraviolet, X-ray, and gamma rays. Clearly, not clearly visible. Okay, just this is radio wave. Okay, this is microwave. This is infrared. This is visible light. This is ultraviolet. This is X-ray, and this is gamma ray. Okay, I think the image filter is somehow messed up, but okay, just hang on with me. So okay, so electromagnetic wave is of 7 types, but the retina of our eye is that sensitive to only catch this visible portion of light. We cannot catch ultraviolet, we cannot see infrared or radio waves or X-ray or gamma ray, right? We can only see visible light, or in some rarest of condition, our eyes get a little more sensitive, so we can see. In general, we can see 7 colors of light, right? Vi, Vg, YOR, rainbow. But in some condition, in rarest of condition, our eyes get a little more sensitive, so we can see a little more color. Okay. In day-to-day life, we cannot see them, but if our eyes were that sensitive, we can see those colors. And in more conditions, what happens that either due to age or in some children, they born with that condition, that our eyes get a little less sensitive, and that condition is called color blindness, right? That you can't differentiate between whether it is red color or blue color or red or orange, right? That is color blindness. So I have 2 or 3 friends who are little color blind, so can't differentiate between two colors. So there is that. But there is also a benefit that when you go out to a shopping mall with your parents, right? We all know how difficult and painful that can be. So my friends don't have to suffer that much because they are a little colorblind, so they don't have to choose the clothes, right? So there is the benefit, but yeah, in general we can see 7 colors, but in rarest condition we can see more. But what about the others, right? A very interesting question would be, why we can only see visible light? Why cannot we see radio waves or microwaves or infrared or others, right? So the basic explanation is this. The visible light, the wavelength of visible light is from 400 nanometer to 750 nanometer, right? Very small. This is nanometer scale, extremely small scale. And in case of radio waves or microwaves, you can see the wavelength is very high, and the our eyes, the aperture of our eyes is such that it can only see this much wavelength. So if you have to see the radio waves, we need a eye of this size, right? Just to see. Maybe we can see with an eye of this size, we can see radio waves, but we don't have that much big eye. So we can only see visible light. Okay. Also, we cannot see X-ray or gamma ray because they are so small. The wavelength is so small that, okay, in our naked eye we cannot just catch them, right? So all these radio waves, microwaves, they are too big, so they are out, and X-ray and gamma ray, they are so small, so they are also out. So we only have infrared, and here are ultraviolet. Okay. So the only problem with infrared and ultraviolet are, infrared is basically a red color, but we cannot see with naked eye. But we will need a thermal imaging. Either you have seen it in a movies or in a series, that there is a thermal plate, that if you use it, the thermal plate right here, you can see that this television is actually red. It will only emit thermal radiation, and if you catch it, it will only appear as red. On the other hand, with respect to this television, I will appear a little less red because my thermal radiation will be a little smaller. So that is infrared, and we cannot even catch that. It is very close to visible, but yeah, it is so red that with naked eye we cannot catch it. How can we see it? You have to use filters like Instagram filters, but they are scientific filters. If you use them like thermal imaging, then you can see infrared. Same goes for ultraviolet. Ultraviolet is actually used by a dentist. If you have ever gone to one, they will use it on your teeth to kill the bacteria, right? So ultraviolet rays is used there. Also, it is being used by the police department to see the blood stains in the apartment or something, if there is any murder or something. So ultraviolet light is also used there. Now, the gamma rays and X-ray are so small we cannot see. So this is the basic reason. Okay. Now there is one more question that was asked to me by a student 1 or 2 years back. Sir, why we only use X-ray while seeing the inside of a body? The mirror is such that mirror reflects 99% of the light, and silver has a high reflection quotient, so it will reflect most of the light. Let's say we use wood, right? If we ever use wood, it will just absorb all the light. So it will not reflect that much. It will only reflect either 5%. So if you in your house, if you ever take out the silver coat portion of the mirror and use a wood coat, then you can only see the wood portion, right? And there is another interesting thing. Are there any other material we can use instead of silver? In the industrial use, we use aluminum because it also has a high reflection quotient. So we use aluminum in industrial use. Let's say you want to see a little yellowish image of yourself, right? Then you can use gold. If you use gold as the coat, then you can see a yellowish image of yourself. Let's say you have more money than common sense, then you can also use platinum, right? Platinum, we know that it is more valuable than gold, and it also has a high reflection quotient, then you can use that if you have more money than common sense. And let's say you are completely crazy, then you can also use plutonium, right? Plutonium, we all know that is a radioactive material. Doubt? Okay, just a second. We all know plutonium is highly radioactive. So if it is used in atom bomb, etc. So if you are completely crazy, you can also use that. What is the doubt?
Radium is used.
No, radium cannot be used. We can only use highly reflective material, right? And these are highly reflective. We can use, you can also use metal. You can highly polish it and you can use metal, but it will not reflect a very high amount, right? If you want to create a mirror, you need to reflect most of the light. Let's say a metal is reflecting only 60%, so it will not be a good mirror, right? So we cannot use that. These you can use, aluminum, gold, platinum, plutonium, this you can use. I will not recommend you to use it. So generally we use silver because it can last 100 years long, right? So that is a very good thing to use silver. Now, Now we will study about again. Can you repeat again? I cannot hear you.
Horns-like surface.
Horns-like. Sorry, your voice is not clearly audible. Okay, let me just start. Let me just finish the topic, then we can ask the question.
Hello?
Hello?
Zinc sulfide can be used? Zinc sulfide can be used?
Yeah, zinc sulfide can be used. No problem. So, let's see this a second. The first is angle of incidence is basically equal to angle of reflection. Now, the second law. The second law says the incident ray, reflected ray and normal to the point of reflection, they all lie in the same plane. So, you have to notice this is the polished surface, this is the horizontal plane, right? And this is the vertical plane. And the incident ray, reflected ray and normal ray, they all lie in the vertical plane. This is where most students make their mistake, that they consider this incident, reflected, normal ray, they lie in the horizontal plane. So, this is why I put this image here. And this is angle of incidence, this is angle of reflection. Okay. So, this is completely basic. This is reflection, this is laws of reflection. Now, let's go to the next one, that is image formation by a plane mirror. I am sure you all know this. Let me just revise you very quickly. This is a plane mirror and this is our object O. A ray is being incident at this point. Let's call this point P. Okay. Now, because this is a plane mirror, it will just reflect that image, reflect that ray. If this is angle of incidence I, this is angle of reflection R, then I will be equal to R. But where will the image will be formed? How to determine that? So, what you will do is draw a perpendicular, right? This is the object, draw a perpendicular. Okay. Now, this is the reflected ray, just extend the reflected ray in the backward direction. So, let me just extend the reflected ray in this direction. Now, this common point of intersection, this is where this common point of intersection, let's call this I, this is where the image will be formed. Now, this is mirror, let's say the object is at a distance d from the mirror, then the image will also be at a distance d from the mirror. So, this is the common image formation law. The distance from the mirror of the object, the distance from the mirror of the image, they will be exactly same. Okay. Now, let's do another example of it. Let's say we have a plane mirror right here. Okay. One ray is coming in this direction, right? And doubt. Yeah, just ask the doubt. What is the doubt? Aisman, what is the doubt? Okay. Okay, let me just. Yes, Aisman. Okay, I cannot hear you. Okay, let's just use this. So, draw the image. Okay, let's draw the image in this condition. What you will do is draw a perpendicular. This is the object. So, let's just draw a perpendicular. Okay. Now, let's draw another. Let's draw another ray. Let's say this is another ray, and this is being reflected in this direction. So, just back draw it. So, this will be the image formation, right? If this distance is d, this distance is also d. So, this is the image formation, right? We can use another example also. Let's say this is a plane mirror. Okay. Let's say we have a object like this. So, how the image will be formed? Okay, if anyone can answer it, then answer it. How the image will be formed? Whether it will form like this, or whether it will form like this, or whether it will form like this. This is A, this is B, this is C. Which one will be correct? Yeah, the option number C will be correct. Okay. And how do you determine the C is correct? Yeah, property of the plane. Right? Just you draw a perpendicular, right? And yeah. So these are mirror formation. Okay. Now let's do another example of it. The clock problem. All of you have heard about the clock problem, right? So let's say here we have a clock, and this is a plane mirror. In the first clock, it is showing 3 p.m. So in the second clock, in the mirror clock, it will show 9 p.m. Right? How do you determine this? And if you know, how do you determine this? If this is showing 3, this will show 9. Why? Or how? You just minus it from 12, right? If you have to find the clock problem, the mirror, then you just minus it from 12. 12 minus 3, 9. This simple. Let's say this. I have to find a mirror image of this time. Let's say 2, 30 and 15. So all you got to do is minus it from 12. Okay. Let me minus it from 12. This is 12. But you write like this. 12 is basically this. 11, 59 and 60 second, right? This is 12, right? 11, 59, 60, that is 12. So as minus it, this will be 5, this is 45, this is 9, this is 2 and this is 9. So this is the mirror will show this time 9, 29, 45. While in the real, this is the correct time 2:30, 15. Okay. Is it clear or not? Okay. This is a very famous problem actually, that's why I put it here. You can search anywhere on the internet and you will find this problem. This is a very famous problem, that's why I put it here. When a clock is viewed from mirror, the needles show the time to be 8:20, right? This is mirror. This mirror is showing 8:20. So what is the real time? So what is the actual time? Who can answer this question? What will be the answer? Clock is showing 8:20. What will be the real time? Who can answer it? 3:40. Very good. All you got to do is minus it from 12, right? So I can say 11:59 and this is 8:20. So this will be 9. This is 60. So 0. This is 60. This is 39. This is 3. So this will be 3:40. Right? Very easy. You can find any clock problem, right? You can, in any difficult clock problem is given, you can just minus it from this number and you will always find the answer. Okay, very easy. So I just put it there for fun actually. Now I gave you just a glimpse of plane mirror. Then we will discuss a little about spherical mirror and I will give you a little bit of trick and something. So what is a spherical or curved mirror? Let's say we have a spherical glass. Okay, this is spherical glass in form of a sphere. Okay, if we cut a single portion of it, I cut a single portion of this, then I will call it a curved mirror, right? This was entire sphere which is made of a glass and I cut this portion and this is a curved mirror. Okay, now the curved mirror is of two types. We know that is one is concave mirror and one is convex mirror, right? Okay, one by one we will discuss it. But there are some important terms before we start doing the concave and convex mirror part. Let me just quickly tell you that. This portion right here, is the image visible or not? No, or not visible. Okay, let me just draw it here. This portion, right? We call this portion as pole. Okay, and all the distances, you have to remember this, all the distances will be measured from this pole. That is the common sign convention. Okay, this is pole and the line passing through pole, this will be principal axis. The line which passes through pole, that is called principal axis. Now you can see this is our spherical mirror, but actually it was part of a spherical glass. So this was a part of a spherical glass and every sphere has a center. Let's call this is our center C, and this is C is called center of curvature. Center of curvature. Okay, what is center of curvature? It is the center of the original spherical glass. Now if it was a sphere, then it must have a radius, and this R is actually called radius of curvature. Okay. Now, okay, all this you must know. There is one more thing, and you have to. This is the interesting part here. Let me use blue. Okay, this portion. Okay, look at here. This portion, this is actually called aperture. this portion, right? This is called aperture, and in optics we will always take the aperture to be very, very small. Okay. If any of you are techies, then you must know when buying your phone, you have to check the camera and the aperture should be very small, right? It should be given 2.3f, 2.5f, 1.7f, and whatever the YouTube channel that you see, they will always recommend to buy the 1.7f because it has the smallest aperture, and the smallest the aperture, the better clarity the picture will be, right? It does not matter what the megapixel is. It will be 180 megapixel, this will be 110, and this will be 48. You always buy the 48 one, but the smallest aperture one, and that will give the clearest of the three. Okay, so this is very important to take the smallest aperture. Okay, now we'll see the concave mirror part, right? The concave mirror, what does it do? It magnifies the image, right? It can be used as a saving mirror. You can use as a saving mirror or a makeup mirror, right? It can be used as a concave mirror or a simple, anything that will magnify, right? We can use as a concave mirror. Now let's see how a concave mirror is formed, and let's look here. The concave mirror, right? This part is actually the coated part, right? Because if we don't coat it, it will just be ray will just pass through the light. So we have to coat one side. This is the coated side, and this side is the polished side. Okay. Now when a ray actually falls on this, let's say one ray falls on this, it will converge. Both rays will just converge to a point. Converge means approaching, right? Okay, and this is the property of concave mirror, that it will just converge the rays, and I will show you a simulation on it, why it converges. Okay, now let's go quickly to convex mirror. What does convex mirror do? It just wider field of view, right? You must have seen in a store, right? They actually use, it is actually a lens, but we can take an example, right? In a security camera, they actually use convex lens, so that they can use they can see the wider picture. Or in your glass, in your motorcycle glass or car glass, they can actually use convex mirror, so that you can see the wider picture, right? So we use convex mirror to see wider picture, and concave mirror to see the bigger picture. Now let's see here. In the case of convex mirror, the inner side is actually coated and the outer side is actually polished. So when a ray of light is incident on it, it will diverge. Okay, so the most common question that I guess asked is, why does not a convex mirror converge? Why it diverge, right? It is this property, and I will show you why. Okay, it will diverge. Okay, let me show you why. Let me show you. Okay, just a second, wait there. Let me show you why it will diverge. Okay. Okay. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Let me quickly show you why this is a concave mirror, as you, sorry, this is a convex mirror, right? Let me show you. Let's say this is the principal axis. You can see. Okay, let's say this is the principal axis. Okay, let me draw another one. Another one. You see, this is the property, right? It will just diverge the rays. And let me make it a concave mirror. Okay, let me just quickly make it a concave mirror, and you will see. Okay, okay, can you see?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is the basic property. It will just make the rays converge, right? So there is no reason behind why it will diverge, why it will converge. This is the basic property. Okay, and I have a lot more simulation to show you, but not today. I don't have enough time, but yeah. Stops there. Okay. Now can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay,
Yes, sir.
great, great. Okay, so this is the basic about concave and convex mirror. Now about focus, right? We know focus. Focus is basically the point when any two rays which are parallel to principal axis, this is our principal axis, any two rays which are parallel to principal axis, they meet at a common point, and that common point is actually called focus, right? That is easy, we know that. Now, in case of convex mirror, the opposite is true, because two light rays which are parallel to principal axis, they will diverge, right? So there is no common focus here on the left side of the mirror. You have to check. In case of convex mirror, the spherical glass will be like this. The spherical glass will be on the right side. So the center of curvature will be somewhere here. This will be the center of curvature. So if the diverged rays, if we trace them backwards, right? If we trace them backwards, the point they meet, this will be the focus. Okay, this is important, because in case of convex mirror, the focus will be formed behind the mirror, and in case of concave, the focus will be formed front side of mirror. Okay, and this length is actually called focus length, focal length, sorry. And this focal length is actually measured from this pole, right? So all the distances will be measured from pole. Now, focal plane. This is another interesting concept. Most students get it wrong. What is a focal length? Let's say this is a principal axis. Is it kauni? Can everybody see it? It is visible. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Don't worry. The entire session is being recorded. So if any of you can see it, it will be available. Okay. So this is the principal axis, right? Let's say we have two another rays. Let me change the color. And let's say the focus is, we will draw focus later. Let's say two parallel rays. We will draw two parallel rays. Okay. Let's say this is one parallel ray, right? And it will reflect like this. Let's draw another parallel ray. It will reflect like this. So as you can see, this common point, this point, right? If we draw, this will be the focus will be somewhere here, and the plane, let's draw a plane here. Now the only difference between focus and this point is that to draw a focus we need a parallel line. If we had a parallel line, it will just pass through focus, but here you have two parallel lines which are not actually parallel to principal axis. If two parallel lines are not actually parallel to principal axis, but they converge at a point, they must converge at this focal plane. What is a focal plane? Focal plane is a plane which consists the focus point, right? So any plane which will consist the focus is focal plane. So if I have another two rays, let me change the color, and they converge at this point, right? So this will be the focus. They will lie in the focal plane. Are you clear? Okay. Now we will talk about rules for image formation. Okay, this is very easy. So basically there are three rules and one additional rule. So first is incident rays parallel to principal axis passes through focus. Extremely easy. This is the principal axis. So any ray which is parallel to principal axis will just pass through focus. Let's say this is another axis parallel to principal axis, it will just pass through focus. Okay. In case of convex mirror, the same will true. This is our principal axis. So any ray which is parallel, it will have to pass through focus. In case of convex mirror, the focus will be on the behind the mirror, right? So another parallel ray, it will have to pass through focus. So any ray which is parallel to principal axis will have to pass through focus. That is the first rule. The second one is incident rays passing through focus will become parallel after reflection. So the first one was if a ray was parallel to principal axis, it will have to pass through focus. The second one is, if consider this is focus, if a ray is passing through focus, after reflection it will be parallel to principal axis. In case of convex mirror, this is a principal axis, let's call this the focal point F, So if a line is actually passing, here you have to trace the point, right? You have to trace the line. If a point is passing through focus, then it will be parallel. After reflection, it will be parallel to principal axis. So the first one is, if it is parallel to principal axis, it will pass through focus. Second one is, if it passes through focus, it will be parallel to principal axis, right? Easy. Now the third one, incident ray passing through center of curvature retraces its path, right? Let me draw. Let's say this is the center of curvature. So if a ray passes through center of curvature, not focus, if it passes through focus, it will be parallel. If it passes through center of curvature, then it will just reflect back. And the same, it will retrace its path, right? In case of same will be true for convex mirror. If a line actually passes, then it will just retrace its path. Okay, is it clear? There are 3 rules, and one additional rule is this one. Let's say this is our principal axis. If a ray is actually incident on the pole, right, then it will pass like this. If this is I, this is R. This is called oblique incidence. This is called oblique incidence. Okay, same will be true for this one. If a ray, right, this is pole, this is I, this is R. So these are the 4 rules, right? So the first 3 are very easy. If a line is parallel to principal axis, it will pass through focus. Second one, if it passes through focus, it will be parallel to principal axis. Third one is, if it passes through center of curvature, it will retrace its path. And fourth one is just oblique incidence, right? Now we will use all these 4 formulas to check for image formation for concave mirror. Okay, and I'm sure I have found it very difficult in my +2 time to remember, okay, where the object will form and all that. So I have found a trick. So I will show you that trick. Okay, it will only take, first I will teach you all that, where the image will be formed. It will take around 10 minutes. Then within 2 minutes I will give you a trick which you can remember this. Okay. Okay, first, the object at infinity. Okay, this will be the first position. What do we mean by infinity? Okay, this is very important. What do we mean by infinity? Let's say I have a scale which is of 1 centimeter and you have a scale which is of 100 centimeter. So for me, your scale is infinite. Okay, relatively, your scale will be infinite. Okay. Now let's see this condition. Okay. Let's say one ray, the light rays are actually coming from infinity. Okay, and they are parallel. You can see they are parallel to principal axis. This is our principal axis. They are parallel. If light ray is parallel to principal axis, it will just pass through focus. That is easy. So this is parallel to principal axis. These light rays are parallel to principal axis. They will pass through focus. Okay, that is easy. We know that. Now what is next? Now it will ask, what will be the image? The image is formed. What are the properties of the image? So the first thing, the image will be formed at focus because the rays converge at focus. So the image will be at focus. Now second thing, can you see the image? Let me give you an example actually. Let's say you have a 10 megapixel phone, or let's say you have a 48 megapixel phone, and I will tell you, okay, 1 kilometer distance there is a hill and you have to take the picture of the top of the hill. So what you will do, you will 10x into, you will use 10x into zoom and you will take the picture, and when you show me the picture, you will just zoom it out and you will show me that, okay, the top of the hill, it will look this big, right? Extremely small. Why? Because the hill is at infinite distance. So when you take the picture, the image will be very small. The light rays coming from the hill, they are actually parallel to the phone, but the image formed, that will be extremely small. So when the rays are coming from infinity, the image will be, let me use another color, image will be highly diminished. Okay, highly diminished means small. They will be relatively very small. Okay. Now one more thing, this is the front side and this is the behind side, right? Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, can you repeat again? My writing is blocked.
Blur.
Blur. It should not be blur. Is it blur for everyone?
No, sir, it's clear. Might be a network issue.
It is clear. Okay, great. Okay. So let me just repeat again. This is the front side and this is the behind side, and the image is actually formed at the front side, right? So whenever image is formed at the front side, the image will be called real image. And always remember, if it is real image, then it will always be inverted. Always. All real images are inverted. If it is a real image, it will be inverted. Inverted means ulta, right? If the object is like this, the image will be ulta. Okay. So these are the three properties. First, it will be formed at focus. Second one, it will be highly diminished. If it is coming from infinity, like always take the hill example, it will come from that hill, it will be extremely small, so highly diminished. Third one is the front side. Front side means real. If it's real, then it will be inverted. The first one is done. Okay, let's go to the second one. Here at the second one, now the object between infinite and C is center of curvature. So one position is infinite. Here we have infinite, and here we have center of curvature. As you can see, we are forming a design here. The object object was at infinite, then it is coming a little closer, then it will come another close. So it was first at infinite, then it will come infinite and C, then it will come here, then it will come there. Okay. So now the position is between infinite and C. This is infinite, this is C here. So remember this, always draw a parallel line. Always draw a parallel line which will just pass through focus. This is the first point. So a parallel line is drawn which is passes through focus. Another, you can do a oblique incidence here, or you can just pass another ray through center of curvature. If a ray passes through center of curvature, it will just retraces its path, right? If it passes through center of curvature, it will retrace its path. So the image will be formed right here. Or you can do an oblique incidence here, and the ray will pass through there. Okay. You can do either of them. So here, notice here also. First thing that you will notice, this is the front side and this is the behind side. And the image is formed at the front side. So that means the image must be real. And if it's real, that means it must be inverted. That is clear. What's the second thing? Now we can see this is the size of object, this is the size of image. Also this ray is almost coming from infinity, right? So of course it will be diminished, not highly diminished. This will be diminished, as we can see the image. Diminished. Third one, where is it formed? Third. It is formed between center of curvature and focus. It is found between center of curvature and focus. So between C and F. Done. Second point is also done. Okay. Now let's do third one. Object at C. As you can see, we have come. This was infinite. This is center of curvature. So we have the object is now at center of curvature. We'll do again repeat the same process. We will draw one parallel line which will just pass through focus. This one. Now we can also do oblique incidence, no problem. But also we can pass another ray through focus also. If a ray passes through focus after reflection, it will be just parallel to principal axis, right? So this ray parallel to principal axis, and where the two rays meet, this ray and this ray number 1, ray number 2 meet at this point. And as you can see, this is the same size. If an object is at point number C or the center of curvature, the image will be of same size. Okay. And which side? This is the front side. If it's front side, that means it's real. And as you can see, it is ulta, right? It is inverted. So real image is always inverted. So real and inverted. This is the first point. What is the second point? Where the image is formed? The image is formed at C, center of curvature. So we can just write at C. What will be the third point?
The same size as the object.
Same side. That is, I have written, right? Real means same side. If it is real image, that means same side. Same size. Same size. Not diminished, it is same size. Okay, same size. I have heard side. Okay. Now, fourth one. As you can see, now the object is a little closer to the mirror. It was at C before, now it is between C and F. Between C, center of curvature, F means focus. Between C and F. Again we will do the same process. We will draw one line parallel to principal axis which will just pass through focus. Another line we can do oblique incidence, or you can just pass another line through focus which will be parallel. This is ray number 1, this is ray number 2, and they will meet at this point. And now look at very carefully this point. The object is at between C and F. Now the image is a little bigger, as you can see. As the object comes close, the image will be very, very large. Okay. Or you can just relate it. At the hilltop there is an object. If you bring the object very, very close, the object will be little clear or little bigger. So first, this is the front side, right? If it is front side, then the image will be real. If it's real image, then it will always be inverted. That is fixed. Real image is always inverted. Now the second point. Is it of same size or different size? Different size. This is enlarged, right? Enlarged means bigger, right? This is enlarged. What's the third point? Where is it formed? Is it formed
between the center of curvature and infinity?
Very good. Between infinity and center of curvature. Done. Okay, this is the fourth point. Now next, and this is also a very interesting one. When the object is at focus, right? Out ke closure mein andale, right? The object is now at focus. What will happen? We will draw one parallel line which will pass through focus. This one, let's call this ray number 1. Now we can draw another line here. We can do oblique incidence right here. We can call it ray number 2, or we can just pass one line through center of curvature, and it will just retrace its path. As you can see, this is incidence and this is reflected. It will just retrace its path. This is ray number 3. Now you can see all these rays are parallel rays, right? And the property of parallel ray is that they will meet at infinite. The parallel rays will always meet at infinite. So what happens here? Now the image is also formed at front side, right? Image will be formed at front side. So the image will be real and inverted. What's the second property? Can you see the image? Highly enlarged. We cannot see the image, so this must be extremely enlarged, highly enlarged. Very good, highly enlarged. What will be the third condition?
So formed at infinite.
Bas, formed at infinite. The image will be formed at infinite. Okay, we're done. Now, these are the 5 common conditions, right? But this one, the last one, that is a special case. This is a special case. You have to remember this one. Now, all the previous 5 cases, the object was, the image was real and inverted. In this situation, you can all just see the image is actually backside of the mirror. Now, this condition, when the object is between focus and pole, this is pole.
Sir,
Okay, huh?
sir, it is lagging. Lag was
Lag. Just okay, just refresh one time, or the close up and open again. It will just resolve. Okay. Now, look, the final position when the object is between F and P. Look at this position. Draw one parallel line here. It will just pass through focus. Let's call it 1. Another, you can just draw one oblique incidence. Okay, it will just pass through there. Or you can just retrace one path through center of curvature. As you can see, these are not parallel lines, right? These are not parallel lines. They are diverging lines. They will never meet. They are diverging lines. Diverging lines will never meet. So where they will meet? They will meet behind the mirror. If we trace it, they will meet behind the mirror. So the image will be formed behind. So this one is a special case. If it's formed behind, then we can write the image is virtual. Okay, what do you mean by a virtual image? That we cannot catch. Let's say we have a mirror and we are seeing our face. Can we catch that face on a screen? No, right? We can, if we have a projector, then we can project a reel to a screen, but we cannot project our face, which we are seeing on a mirror, to a screen, right? So that is virtual. We cannot project it to a screen. It is virtual. That is right. Okay, but is it inverted? Ulta to nahi hai na? Seedha, right?
No, sir, it's erect.
Erect. Very good. This is erect or upright. You can say upright. Upright is also another good word. Now, where the object is formed? The object is formed behind the mirror. Okay, this is, you have to write object is formed behind the mirror. Now, is it same size or is it enlarged? Enlarged. Okay. Now, how will you remember all of that? There are we have taken 6 cases, right? So, how do you remember all of the 6 cases? So, this is the trick. Use this trick and you will remember anything. Okay, let me just show you the trick. I have taken 5 different positions. This is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You don't count the special case. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, first object was at infinite. Second, beyond C, that means between C and infinite. Between infinite and center of curvature. Then a little closer, that is at C. Then a little closer between C and F. Then finally at F. These are the 5 conditions, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let's see. When the object was just write 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. For image, just write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When the object was at 5, when the object was infinite, image will be formed at focus. Parallel line coming from infinity will just pass through focus. The object was 5, image will be formed at 1. When the object was at 4, image will be formed at 2. Right? You can check the conditions too. When the object between C and F, image will be formed between C and F. 3, same size condition, right? When the object was at center of curvature, image will be at center of curvature. Now, when the object at 2, image will be 4, object at 1, image will be 5. Very easy, done. And this is the position. This is the position of image. Whatever the size of image, this one is the size of image. Again, the same thing. Write 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for object and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for image. You can see 5 is actually very, very greater than 1. Image is actually very, very less than object. So, that means highly what? Diminished. Second condition, 4 is very only greater than 2, right? 4 is greater than 2. That means image is actually smaller. That means only diminished. Next condition, this is equal. That means same size. Then this is 2, this is 4. Less than. So enlarged. Final condition, highly enlarged. Done. Now next time you don't have to remember all of that. You can just remember this one. You have to remember the position, and the position remembering is very easy. Okay. अच्छा, position remember करना very easy होगा, right? So you have to only remember कि अच्छा object को first infinity में लेना है, फिर infinity and C के बीच में, फिर at C, फिर C and F, फिर at F. So you can just find कि अच्छा position of image and size of image. ये trick बस 2 minutes लगेगा बस याद रखने के लिए, फिर done. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So next time just screenshot it और हम available भी कर देंगे ये PDF. Just remember this trick. Okay. Now.
So we can capture the screenshot.
Yeah. Just capture the screenshot. Oh, can't capture the screenshot.
No, sir, we can.
Okay. Okay. Now for convex mirror. Okay. So convex mirror is easy. There is no trick for convex mirror क्योंकि बस 2 ही conditions होते हैं convex mirror के लिए. So 2 ही condition कर लेते हैं. And the object was at infinity. Okay. Very simple. जब object infinity पे होता है, right? So two parallel rays coming from infinite and parallel to principal axis, they will just pass through focus. This is convex lens. So the rays will be diverging rays. And diverging rays will always meet behind the mirror. Diverging rays always meet behind the mirror. ये special case भी था, right? So behind the mirror. This is easy. Image is what? Object is infinite. Object is infinite. Yeah, of course. This will be virtual. True. Object is infinite. So image will be highly diminished. Right? Highly diminished. अच्छा, और क्या हो सकता है वैसे? और इमेज कहाँ पे फॉर्मेशन हुआ? फोकस पे, राइट? सो आर्ट फोकस, डन. ओके, दिस इज वन कंडीशन एंड इज डन. लेट्स लुक एट सेकेंड कंडीशन, राइट? अच्छा देखो, ये लास्ट कंडीशन भी है. बिटवीन इन्फानाइट एंड पोल, बिटवीन इन्फानाइट एंड पोल does not matter C, F, you can take at any position, you will just get the same result. Okay, let's look at this example. The object is between infinite and pole. So one ray, we'll draw one ray parallel to principal axis, it will diverge like this. Okay, we'll draw another ray. You can take any, I will just take, if this is center of curvature, I will draw one line. Yeah, it will retrace its path, and you can see this will be the image, and this is the fixed position, right? The image will not shift. This is the fixed position.
Sir, screen,
Huh?
screen is not visible.
Screen is not visible.
Screen,
Can everyone see the? Is this? Can everyone see the screen?
yes, sir.
Okay. अच्छा, okay, okay. Now let's see. फर्स्ट प्रॉपर्टी फर्स्ट क्या होगा कि अच्छा इमेज क्या होगा, वर्चुअल होगा, राइट? ये तो क्लियर है कि अच्छा बिहाइंड द इमेज फॉर्मेशन होगा. अच्छा डिमिनिश तो होगा ही, कन्वेक्स मिरर में हमेशा डिमिनिश्ड ही होगा, राइट? बिकॉज प्रॉपर्टी अगर हम देखें तो अच्छा कॉन्वेक्स मिरर में हमें देखना क्या होता है कि अच्छा बहुत ज़्यादा भी होता है, हमें लेस में देखना होता है, तो हमेशा डिमिनिश्ड ही बनेगा, राइट? सो डिमिनिश्ड हो गया. अच्छा फॉर्मेशन कहाँ पे होगा? बिहाइंड द मिरर. नाउ वी आर यू डोंट हैव टू राइट दैट. बिहाइंड द मिरर इज सफिशिएंट. Okay, and this is the two condition. You can take at any point the image will be found behind the mirror, but it will vary between these points, but yeah, the image will be found there, and these are the two condition only for convex mirror. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा अच्छा, कोई भी डाउट हो, जितना भी पढ़ा है कोई भी डाउट हो पूछ सकते हो. एनी डाउट? बीच में कोई कुछ पूछ भी रहा था, मुझे सुनाई भी नहीं दिया. यू कैन आस्क अगेन.
Hello, sir.
हाँ हेलो.
Hello, sir.
हाँ
Sir, the high sensitive, with high sensitive of eye, we can watch which electromagnetic wave.
with high eye sensitivity.
Yes, sir. Which types of electromagnetic
Yeah,
wave?
if you are no, with a little higher sensitivity we can see a larger spectrum of colors, right? But to see electromagnetic waves we need bigger size eye or either a very small size eye. We get, right? Just being sensitive does not show the entire spectrum, right? Size also matters.
Sir, in which machine we can see electromagnetic waves?
Repeat again.
So, in which machine we can see electromagnetic waves? Which device?
No, electromagnetic waves is of 7 types, right? So to see a particular wave you have to use a particular instrument. Okay,
Yes, sir.
then you can see but then you can see any number of waves. Okay, any other doubt? अच्छा मु टोटल ओडिया मु बिल्कुल भी यूज करनी, बट बिकॉज मोर आइडिया नथला कि कौन अच्छा कंप्लीटली इंग्लिश रे बकबक ही पढ़ेली. सो यदि कार डाउट भी अच्छे मत ओडिया रे पचार पारियो, किसी प्रॉब्लम नहीं. ओके, सो आई कंफर्म कि तमर फिलहाल ପାଇଁ କିଛି डाउट?
Special.
हाँ हाँ स्पेशल के
स्पेशल जो ये है पांचटा का
हाँ
ये पढ़ेंगे स्पेशल केस टा सेट पे कोई.
हाँ स्पेशल केस इजी एक्चुअली. हाँ हाँ श्योर, स्पेशल केस कहि दउची. देखो किसी नहीं सिंपल फर्स्ट जिनस होची कि तुमको स्पेशल केस रे फर्स्ट धरे कि ऑब्जेक्ट बिटवीन एफ एंड पी. सो ऑब्जेक्ट विल बी प्लेस्ड बिटवीन एफ एंड दिस पोल पी. सो फर्स्ट सिंपल जिनस करियर अछि कि फर्स्ट गोटे पैरेलल लाइन ड्रा कला व्हिच विल पासेस थ्रू अगेन फोकस. सेकंड तुम किसी भी कर पारियो, लेट्स से कि मु गोटे ट्रेस करछि गोटे रे जोटा कि पास करछि थ्रू सेंटर ऑफ कर्वेचर, एंड देन बिकॉज दे आर डाइवर्जिंग रेज, राइट? दे आर डाइवर्जिंग रेज. डाइवर्जिंग रेज माने एमतिया चलियो एमतिया. सो दे विल नेवर मीट, दे आर डाइवर्जिंग रेज. सो यदि डाइवर्जिंग रेज अछि, ऑलवेज रिमेंबर डाइवर्जिंग रेज पई इमेज विल बी फॉर्मड बिहाइंड द मिरर. माने एटा गोटे कन्वेक्स रा केस पे तुम भाग परियो, एटा कनकेव मिरर बट इट विल एक्ट एज ए कन्वेक्स मिरर. ओके, so diverging case, so the image will be formed behind the mirror. So first answer the behind the mirror formation होची virtual हबा and erect हबा. मतलब most condition रे virtual अछि माने erect ही हबा. Then behind the mirror formation होची. Third answer we can see कि अच्छा image size, sorry object size and image size. Image तो highly enlarged नहीं है, right? So तमे बस एटा ही तुम मन रखियो पड़ियो, but बाकी सब पइन तो you can just follow this, right? तुम जो ट्रिक टा देलेटी you can just follow this. Okay, तुम PDF मिल जाओ, don't worry. Anyway, okay, so now my portion is done. Now Durjadhan Sahu lecturer, senior faculty Durjadhan Sahu will now join you and will tell you all about. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And also, if you, I will be here. So after the lecture, thank you. After the lecture, you can also ask me any doubt or anything. Okay, I will be here.